Right, thank you very much everyone, and we're very pleased that all of you are here with us for this semi-final. Congratulations to both our fantastic teams. Well done. Our timekeeper is to my right, and you'll hear the usual time signals. Claps at 1 and at 7, beg your pardon, and double claps at 8. I'm just going to get the panel to quickly introduce themselves. From my right, my colleagues here are...
my name is Gabriela.
I'm Philip.
I'm Gita.
Luca. Anastasia.
All right, we're all very happy to be here, and without further ado, thank you very much to the audience for being here. It's always fantastic for our speakers to have an audience. And, yeah, okay, round of applause for the audience as well. All right, and so without further ado, I invite the gentleman or the lady from Proposition to come forward to present the argument that is before the House today on profit sharing. Here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we see today that the implementation of our today's motion is both beneficial for the employer and for the employee, and this is what our side of the House today is going to move to. But first of all, to refer to the model that we want to implement in our today's debate. We want to involve the workers in the profit sharing by giving them a certain percentage of stocks of the company, so they are partly an owner of the company and therefore also have the right to be involved in the profit sharing. This percentage is debatable because we are only talking about the principle of involving workers in the profit sharing, but we want to set the percentage generally high in about 20 or 30% because we believe that it is actually important that the worker is involved in the profit sharing. Still, we also want to have, we do not want to have all the complete amount of profit distributed between the workers, because we do have to keep something back for innovation and also for security for harsh times. So, the two arguments that I'm going to present in our today's debate are, first of all, the abolishment of egoism in a company, and second of all, the competition for the best worker. And the result of these arguments is going to be that every party involved is going to benefit. My second speaker, he will also refer to the corporate responsibility of a company and therefore close our case. So now to move on to my first argument. How is egoism in a company going to be abolished with the implementation of our today's motion? And if we want to answer these questions, we have to look at the status quo nowadays. People in a company, they work for their own benefit. They work because they get their salary at the end of the month, and therefore they want to be the best. They want to be the single person who is good in their company, and they want to do their job as best as possible to actually achieve a benefit for themselves. But ladies and gentlemen, this all sounds quite good. Why is it problematic? We see that it is problematic if workers are not cooperating, because it is not possible to actually fusion the ideas of these workers and to have the best possible outcome, the best possible and best innovative product, if the workers are just working for themselves. Furthermore, there is also a bad working climate in between the people, and it is not a very good atmosphere into which people should develop things and in which people should actually really create new technologies. So why is this going to change by the implementation of the motion? We see that if we implement our today's motion, as I already mentioned when I was describing our model, the workers are a part of the company. The workers are partly owning the company and therefore also actually get the profit that the company is receiving, get parts of the profit. Yes,
so
please?
Are they involved in the decision making in the company as well?
Thank you, ma'am. And they are actually not involved in decision making because they are owners of the company. They are not the CEOs of the company because of that. They are just like, they own a part of the company, and this is actually their piece of the pie, so to say. And these people, they will now work better together because they actually do not want to push their ego forward in their own work, because they want to push the complete company. They see that the result of cooperation is actually efficiency. They see if there's one person who has got great ideas and who wants to push through these ideas alone, this does not work as well as if there are 5 people having great ideas, contributing to each other, helping each other to actually achieve the best result for the company. No, thank you. We are also going to see, as a consequence of the implementation of with our today's motion, that labor unions and associations are going to be more powerful because the workers are actually more involved in, because the workers are partly owners of the company and therefore also want to even more push through their interests, and that's why labor unions and associations, will be more powerful. These labor unions are also a unit in itself where the people are helping each other and are helping each other to build up a working company on the long term. Because what we are concentrating in our today's debate, what we're concentrating on is actually the long-term involvement of a worker in a company to achieve the best possible outcome, to achieve the best possible product. The best possible product is also going to benefit the employer in this case, because if the company has got a very good product, lots of people are also going to tend to buy this product. And if lots of people buy the product, this is of course profitable for the employer. So now to move on to my second point, which refers to the competition for the best worker between different companies. And what we see in the status quo is that every company needs educated workforce. Every company needs people who push through innovation and who try to improve the product that the company wants to sell. And these people, not only every company needs these people, but also every company wants to have these people. If somebody is now employed at a company, he is rather going to stay at this company and is not going to leave the company if he is involved in the profit sharing, because this is benefiting him. This is actually giving him profit of the company as an honor for his extraordinarily well done work and also as a compensation of the effort that he is putting into the company.
You're right.
No, thank you. This is not only the case concerning people staying at the company they were originally employed in, but also concerning people leaving the company they were originally employed in. Imagine you work at a company and a different company now offers you a job and says, if you work at our company, you are going to be involved in the profit share. So obviously, you will rather leave the company you have originally been working for, and you are going to go to the different company because there you are involved in the profit sharing, you are a part of the company, and you are financially benefited for the work that you are doing in addition. No thank you. So furthermore, we also see that the workers are going to stay at their company or are going to leave their company, according to which company is actually applying the profit sharing. No thank you, because of my first point. This is also a consequence of my first point. My first point referred to the fact that actually there is a better working climate. The people are more if they influence the company on the long term, this is also benefiting them because they are involved in the profit sharing. The people are going to cooperate more and are going to benefit from each other and are trying to actually lift each other higher. And so the people will rather actually tend to work in a company where this social climate is given and where the people are cooperating, are trying to push their ideas through and achieve the best innovation. No, thank you. Why is this whole competition point beneficial for the employer? We see that if the employer is able to keep the best workers in this kind of area of economy that the employer is working in, for example, the car industry, if he is able to keep the best workers concerning that in his own company, then he is also going to have the best products and result, and the best products sell the best, and therefore he is going to have the best profit. So what have I told you today? First of all, I've been referring to this whole issue of the abolishment of egoism, because people are rather going to cooperate when it is not only for their own benefit, but for the benefit of the whole company, because they are shareholders of the company and therefore primarily involved in whether or not the company is profitable or not. So my second point referred to the fact that actually there is a competition between different companies who want to have the best worker working at their company. So in the end, we see that this competition is going to be beneficial for the company that applies profit sharing, because the worker is rather tending to go to that company than to the one who is not applying profit sharing. And because of all these points, I'm proud to stand here today and propose our today's motion.
Thank you very much to the lady from Proposition, and now I invite the first opposition speaker to offer initial clash. Here.
The opposition team today stands stands for the value of capitalism, and we believe that the propositions model today is a very socialist one. Back in the day, the Marxist philosophy implied the loss of private property, and we believe that the government is exactly doing this today. We believe that private property, which is directly related to risk and profit, should be our main interest today. In my speech today, I'm going to have some rebuttal points, and then I'm going to move on to my first argument, which is why profit shouldn't really be our main interest. The second argument being about risk, and the third argument presented by my colleague here about why this motion actually discourages market economy and small enterprises. Now, the government's model is that we will actually share this profit, and we really don't know what percentage of the profit, because they said that it will depend on the company, which we accept. But is it going to be the same for every worker? They haven't really specified if every worker will get the same part of the profit. Also, they have made a quite important contribution in their speech. No, thank you. They have said, firstly, they have said that they will be partly owners of the company, which means they will be shareholders of that company, which means that they will be directly implied in the decision-making of that company. And when I made my POI and asked, will he make the decision in the company, they said, no, he will just get the profit sharing, which is a contradiction, no, thank you, because if you are a shareholder in a company, you also get to make the decision in that particular company. Their first argument about abolition of selfishness, and they say that they work for their own benefit. Now, we believe that human psychology will also place your own benefit before others. We believe that when you're a worker, you will also going to have your best interest for your company. We believe that regardless of the profit, these workers will also place their own benefit before others, because that's just what human psychology works like. They have said that they will be more motivated. Now, we believe today that motivation and fairness, as their point is about salary, because we are rewarding these people by paying them a salary. And if a worker, let's say, is more involved and he shows progress, he will be promoted, he will get a bigger salary. We can still raise their salaries, no thank you, because salary is practically the expression, the value of their work. And we believe that what they had to do is prove that their reward, that profit sharing that they're proposing, has to be directly linked to the evolution of the company. Because in the same way, we can raise their salaries if they prove to be more efficient and more involved in the company as a whole. Now, they have also specified something very interesting about efficiency, but they haven't really explained how this efficiency will be fostered if we give them more profit sharing. Now, if a worker has a certain idea about how a company may be more efficient, he is free to put that forward, even though he doesn't have a profit sharing. We believe that nothing stops these workers, no thank you, from putting forward ideas and giving new propositions to the shareholders if they have a salary. And what they have to do is prove that this efficiency is only going to happen if they have a profit sharing. They have talked about labor unions, and we haven't really understood that direct link between profit sharing and labor unions. I mean, how are the labor unions going to intervene in the situation and actually defend the workers better or make their work in the company better because they have a profit sharing? I think they have said that he is rewarded, the worker is rewarded for his work. And like we've said before, his work is rewarded by his salary. And if you don't accept your salary, if you think you are low paid, underpaid, if you think that you work more than you deserve, and you are paid less than you deserve, you can go and move to another company and get a bigger salary. And their other point was about the fact that they will leave the company if we don't give them profit sharing. But what the opposition team is going to do today is challenge that. Why is it wrong to leave the company? Because as far as we're concerned, we want diversity on the market. No, thank you. We want workers to be as diverse as possible, and we don't see anything wrong with actually leaving the company. To prove this argument, they had to give us a concrete example and analysis why workers shouldn't leave the company and why it's not desirable for either the worker, the company, or the market. No, thank you. Moving on to my first argument, why profit isn't really our main goal. Now, in their model, which is that the workers will be directly involved in the decision-making, this means that they will actually want the profit to be the main goal. Their main interest will be the profit. Now, we believe that this shifts the interest from quality to quantity, and we value quality more than the actual profit. Now, we believe that actually to make a profit, you have to reduce costs. You have to spend less on the things that you produce to earn more. And if you spend less, the quality of the products that you use to produce something else will be that. So if I'm working in a chocolate factory, let's say, and I want to reduce costs, no thank you, I'm going to buy a cheaper kind of milk so that I use a cheaper kind of milk, no thank you, and I produce more. Now we believe that we would much rather have something quality and produce something that is actually good and has a quality, the product, the quality, rather than having more profit and focusing our whole attention only on that. And this actually is even more severe if the worker is directly involved in the decision making, because in their model, if the worker is directly involved, he'll have to make these decisions that are very important for the company. And we don't even know, thank you, if they are knowledgeable enough to make this decision, if they are informed enough about the way the company works to make this decision. Because the difference between a shareholder and a worker is the fact that the shareholder who founded the company knows how the company works, knows how the market works, knows what the demand is. So he's actually the ones who should make the decisions in the name of the workers. We don't know if these workers will take the right decisions. We don't know if they are knowledgeable enough and trained enough to make the decisions just like shareholder do. That's why we have a difference between shareholders and workers. Now, this brings me to my second point, which is about the risk. Now, the initial risk that the shareholder assumes in investing in that particular company. If you want to start a business, you being the shareholder, you are the one that invests in that company. So you are bearing the risk of a potential failure, of a potential bankruptcy. And in their model, thank you, what they're saying is we are going to redistribute this profit, but the risk of failing, the risk of bankruptcy, which still stands even if years have passed since the beginning of the company, will not be shared. Now, we believe that that's not morally right to distribute its profit among workers, but not distribute the risk, which the shareholder still bears by himself because he has invested in the first place. And another flaw about the model is the fact that they haven't really explained how profit works. Where are we going to take this profit from? Because we would much rather use the profit that they said they would distribute to the workers to invest more, because the point about efficiency was not really explained. So what we're saying is we would much rather use that percentage of the profit they want to distribute to invest more, to buy more productive stuff, to buy more new machines that will produce better products. So because they haven't really proven how efficiency and motivation will be enhanced by the model, and because I've shown you that profit isn't really our main goal, and that risk should be also taken into consideration when we're talking about this motion, I beg you to oppose.
Thank you to the lady. I now invite the second speaker from government to continue the analysis. Here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the second time from ZWSDO to this debate with the motions. This House would involve workers in the profit sharing of the companies they work for. So first of all, I'd like to rebuttal a few points that opposition wanted to make us believe to tackle our case. First of all, they told us about the workers should be involved in the decision making. First of all, the opposition in their models never talked about this point, and there is definitely a difference between decision shares and financial shares. We are today talking about financial shares, not about decision shares. How our first speaker already mentioned, that opposition may react to this point in their second speech. So, second of all, they were just talking about a few minor points, but they never told us what exactly the negative impacts are. What exactly the negative impacts are if we implement our today's motion. What are exactly the negative impacts, on whom exactly are the negative impacts? We expect them to do this in their second speech. So the next point, they talked about the risk, and the risk at the employer. Ladies and gentlemen, definitely the risk is distributed, how my first speaker already stated. Because if the people work less, no thank you, if the people work less, they get less from the profit, but we see they get the salary definitely, but they get less from the profit additionally to this. So they will definitely work harder. This will lead to motivation. This will lead to profit, because motivation leads to profit. Because if the people have motivation, they work harder, and if they work harder, the products are better. If the products are better, the profit, there is more profit. So this is definitely beneficial for the company, definitely beneficial for the employer. So we don't see this point side opposition standing equal. So our first speaker already stated which side opposition tackled in their first speech. They were talking about the growth would be prevented and so on. How my first speaker already stated. We want to have money left for development. We will have money left for development. Then afterwards, we will share a percentage of money with the workers, and the company will decide, because it's the company's decision who will get the money, and it's the company's decision whether they will do it or not. We are just debating about the principle if it's beneficial for the company, and if it's beneficial for the workers, and if it has positive impacts. And we at the proposition today see that it definitely has positive impacts, ladies and gentlemen. So we see there would definitely be money for growth left. So let me now come to my substantive speech. I structured my substantive speech into two main points, but first of all, what did we prove to you until now? We proved to you that there would be more profit because there would be an abolishment of egoism, that people would be working better together. Second of all, it would be better for the company because definitely the worker will go to the company which is paying most money. This is the only logical consequence, because the worker, as everybody, does want his profit. He wants to buy things for his family and so on. So this is definitely long-term effective for the company because they are connecting themselves with the best workers. They take the best workers because every worker will want to get to this company because the company is paying most. So what do we prove to you now? We prove to you now that the companies have a corporate responsibility and the workers have to be part of this corporate responsibility if this corporate responsibility shall work. And this will be profitable for the companies because of their image. Second of all, we will prove to you that the workers will work better because they can participate more and are motivated more. So let me start with the corporate responsibility. If a company has got lots of money, they have duties to the society, ladies and gentlemen. They have this corporate responsibility, this is how it is called. And as a consequence, they are benefiting the society in a few cases at the moment. So they want to show themselves as social and as a good part of society. For example, many companies are donating money to, for example, policing. So if the company sees, I have to have this corporate responsibility, that the people think social, think the company is social, and definitely if they think the company is social, they would rather buy this company, definitely, because the people want to buy social, social produced products. And if they see the salary, no thank you, and if the salary is not in any relation to what they are really doing, and if they see, after our model is implemented, the people will get more money, no thank you, people will get more money, and if they get more money, the people will see the workers get more. This is better for the worker, the company is fulfilling its corporate responsibility. So we see the company has to give something and to return to the hard-working workers. So how this is actually affecting the companies? The image of the companies tending to increase because those companies will start supporting their workers in the way I already explained. So they will also support the society and so on, because the workers are part of it. So if the people see they are not taking every profit for themselves, if they see the employer is not taking every profit for themselves and is buying whatever, houses, boats, cars, because it's just able to. Yes, please.
They're not taking all of the profit from themselves, they're investing, they're paying taxes.
Okay, I get your point, We are exactly, I've already stated that we will just do this profit sharing if there is enough money left. If we have money left after investing it in growth and development. So then this is the case that we will do this profit sharing. Then we will have money left, and then we will have profit left, and then this profit will be distributed to the worker. And this part of the profit will be distributed to all of the workers. So I already explained the positive impacts on the worker and on the company. So let me just finish my point. The image, I'm sorry. The workers are definitely part of the corporate responsibility. And if the people see they are not taking every profit for themselves, the consumer will rather want to buy those products. And if they rather want to buy those products, there is more profit, definitely, because if more people are buying my products, I get more profit as an employer. So there will definitely be a profit for the company. There will definitely be more profit for the employer. So let me just summarize what the real profits are. Definitely, you will have a few more costs because you will pay money to the worker, but we will see that the profit will extremely increase because there are more people buying the products are getting better, the people are working more effectively, are already told, and they are getting the better workers. So there is a long-term effectiveness because the company will, in the long term, be much more successful because they have the best worker. My first speaker stated this point quite often, and we expect from the opposition to tackle this point. So let me move on to my next point. If the workers are happier, if they can be part of the company, then they work best, definitely, ladies and gentlemen. They don't just handle with a few machines and factories and go home and have their normal basic salary, but they are part of the company, ladies and gentlemen. They know if I am working better, the company is having an advantage, and I'm having an advantage too. Yes, please.
But how about the demand on the market? Isn't that an external that might...
Okay, I get your point. This is completely out of debate because we are debating about if the situation is like this. If there is a profit, then we'll distribute this profit, and we as a proposition clearly stated that this profit sharing is leading to advantages for the worker, is leading to advantages for the company, and will definitely also lead to advantages for the consumer because they will be able to buy better products, definitely. So, to continue my point, the people do not want to be pushed in just one class and just want to handle off the machines and just want to get a basic salary, but they want to be part of the company. If they are part of the company, they are much more motivated and they are working better, definitely, because it's fulfilling them, dear ladies and gentlemen. They can work better if they have this motivation. So we see this if we implement if we implement our today's motion. It's definitely fulfilling the worker, and it's good for them. So to conclude what we told you today also in the speeches, it's good for the companies, it's good for the workers, it's good for the consumers. So this motion definitely has to stand. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the gentleman. I now invite the speaker from the opposition to continue the class. Here.
There'll be the second speaker from the opposition, and I would like to start by analyzing what our opponents today have told us. Well, firstly, they told us about the abolishment of egoism in this company by implementing their model. And they say that today workers aren't cooperating, and if we give them a part of the share and would make them company owners, that they would own a part of the company, they would work together, and they would work as a team. Well, firstly, they didn't prove that, and secondly, psychologically, it's proof that people won't work together because they will be more and more competitive one against the other, because if they work better, each of them will get a bigger part of the profit. And so your argument about abolishment of egoism doesn't stand, because by implementing your model, you're making them more and more competitive, so they will not work together as you say. Then our opponents told us today that they would give a share of the company, to the workers, that they would own a share of the company. So, and at our point of information, they said that they will not be involved in decision making. Then I ask you, who will be involved in decision making? You're giving yes.
Then the employer will be involved in the decision making because it is his company, but the workers will be involved in the financial shares.
Okay, thank you. Well, you said that the employer will be involved in the decision making. Well, how do we make a difference between employees and employer in your model today? You told us that they will own a part of the company. You told us that they will have you told us that they will own, as the true shareholders, the employees the employers as you call them, they will own a part of the companies. And you said that decisions shares are different from financial shares. But you didn't explain that. You didn't explain how this difference works. Yes.
Is this actually important because everybody is benefiting?
Yes, thank you. But yes, this is important because firstly, we are destroying the core values of capitalism, the right of private property. Secondly, you, by your model, are implementing something that would cause our workers to become shareholders. So, the true shareholders, the employers, what are they now? They are with nothing different from the workers, but they are different. But they are different at the start. They have taken the risk of investing in the company. They have taken the risk of starting the company, and it is not fair for them now to give all the workers. No, thank you. To give all the workers a part of the company. So, as I've said, by your model, when everyone is a shareholder in a bigger or in a smaller way, you're destroying the core values of capitalism. You're harshly violating the right to private property. So, you want to change our capitalist system today with a socialist one. And so you are destroying the liberal market economy. Now, also, you told us that you are giving them motivation, so they will work harder, so they will make better products, so the company will have a higher profit. Well, the last link is a wrong one, is a false one, because if they work harder, that doesn't mean they will have bigger profits. No, thank you. It doesn't mean they will have bigger profits. Why? Because, as I've said in the point of information, there are other external no, thank you. External agents that influence the profit. Work is not directly linked to the profit. No, thank you. To the profit, and so your model doesn't stand. Also, you asked us in a point of information why. You told us that we haven't presented the disadvantages of your model. Well, we have. We have presented, firstly, the argument of changing focus from quality to increasing profit. You haven't attacked that at all. No, thank you. And we have presented the fact that by implementing your model, these workers will try harder to get a bigger profit, but by reducing some costs that can lead to a smaller quality in products. So, in the end, your model doesn't work here. Because we have presented that this measure you take can lead to these wrong results. So, also you told us that you could, as a worker, rather leave the company and go to a company where you get more profit. Well, that gets me exactly to my third argument today. We're talking about destroying small businesses. We're talking about the fact that you said that if you are not satisfied with the company you work in and what you get there, you can go to a larger company. You can go to a company that gives you more profit. Well, our third argument today is destroying small businesses. We're saying that, as you said, no thank you, workers are going to search for larger profits, right? Because, so they're going to search for larger profits to get more money. If they are going to search for larger profits, they will seek jobs in larger companies. Why? Because those larger companies have a bigger profit and have a bigger profit, so they will receive a bigger share of that profit. No, they will receive the same share, but because the profit is bigger than the small company he comes from, will receive more money. So we're talking today about the destruction of small businesses, because workers because workers leave small companies they work in to go to big companies, large companies that have a large profit that can be that will be shared, and they will receive a bigger share. Why is destroying small businesses, small companies, a bad thing for the economy? Well, it's a bad thing for the economy because the market is going to belong only to large companies, and middle class and small enterprises are not going to exist anymore. So, that leads directly to a clear consequence. No, thank you. That leads directly to a clear consequence that it would be really hard in this situation when we implement your model to start a new business. Why? Because the large companies are the only ones that exist now, and so we destroy the dynamic of the market economy, so I said that it would be really hard, no thank you, it would be really hard to start new businesses in a market where only huge companies exist. So the exact same companies will keep going forever, and you wouldn't be able to create a new company. Well, this is the fact that discourages market economy, as we've proved today by opposing to your model. So, today we've talked about how the model, the proposition told us about, destroys the core values of capitalism. Now, why? So it destroys the core values of capitalism. We've showed you its disadvantages towards quality, towards small businesses, and we've proven you today that your model does not work and does not have true, real, and benefic effects to our economy.
All right. Leslie Kate.
Thank you very much to the gentleman. I now invite the third speaker of the proposition.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third time of side proposition. I've divided up my whole rebuttal in three main questions. The first question is, what makes people happy? What makes workers happy? The second question is, why are our mechanisms so important? And third question and last question, why shouldn't good work be connected to profit, like side opposition told us? So let me start with my first question: what makes the people happy? What makes actually the workers happy? The workers get the financial shares of the company, and so they also have kind of responsibility to the company, because they know, okay, if I work hard, if I work together with my colleagues, this will lead to more profit, which we proved to you today several times, and to which I'm going to refer later on again. And because the workers have a special responsibility to the company, that's actually what the workers want. They want to have, they do something for the company, and they see, if I do something for the company, it's good for the company's better off. And if the company is better off, I'm better off as well, because of the profit sharing, because the company gets more profit, and so it's just benefiting me and my colleagues as well. So we don't see the problem here, and we see our point, this point definitely standing on side proposition. So coming to the second question, why are the mechanisms, why are our mechanisms so important? First of all, the worker feel better because of the answer of the first question, and so this would lead to better quality, because they feel better, and it's just a fact that if people feel good, they're better. They're just better able to work good, and so if they work good, they of course produce a better product, and so this would lead again to more profit, because which I'm going to refer in my third question, why it's actually connected, good work and profit. And so it's as well good for the worker, and of course it's good for the employer as well. So the whole company is just benefiting from the whole from our whole mechanism. So that's why we, as a side proposition, clearly showed you, like several times now. Firstly, why the first question, what makes workers happy, is standing, and secondly, why the second question about the mechanisms is standing as well. So how this is all connected to each other, which is going to lead me to the third question. Why shouldn't be, like side opposition says, good work be connected to profit? They say, okay, we have never proven to you how it's just how good work and so better products are connected to more profit, which is just doesn't make any sense from side opposition right here, because it's just, well, you just clearly see if the workers work better together, like we've shown you now several times. they have better atmosphere and they work together and not against each other. So this leads to just better working atmosphere. Better work in general, better products, more profit. Yes, please.
Wouldn't you agree that profit also depends on, for example, the financial crisis or the market or the demand, rather than just on the workers?
Well, of course, but we said that we don't only put the money of the company in the profit sharing, but as well in the investments, and so it's as well benefiting the company. So if there would be a financial crisis, we still have money to stay alive in this economic system, and so we just can't. This company just can't lose because it's firstly saved for the financial crisis, or just anyhow like the product won't be sold good enough. So they still have money for investments, and through these investments, they still can get more profit, more better. Like we've shown you several times now, and then we still have like higher profit, which leads us to our profit sharing. What we're just referring to, like the whole debate, what side opposition might not have understood like correctly, and so what we have shown you today is that the workers are going to be happy because they have responsibility. They know, okay, I'm a part of this company and I can work, therefore the company gets better, gets high profit, and so it's not only the profit that makes them happy, but as well the better working atmosphere. So they say, okay, yeah, tomorrow I'm going to work again, and we're just like it's not that the workers think, oh no, man, tomorrow's Monday, tomorrow's Monday, I have to go to work. Oh, I don't like this. The people might be feel without a profit sharing, but they're in a good atmosphere, and so they feel good. Our mechanisms are still standing, and the better work from the workers are connected to the profit, which is benefiting all of the components, the employer, employee, and so with these words I beg to propose.
Thank you very much, and I now invite the final substantive speaker from the opposition to offer this section.
I'm going to start my speech by talking about risks. The risk subject is something the government team has never tackled today. We have explained this topic in our third argument, which referred strictly to risk. So, through implementing this motion, we're basically sharing part of the profit a company makes, but the risks are still exclusively belonging to the owner of that company, to the real decision maker of that company. And what does that cause? Well, if the company goes bankrupt or fails in the market economy, if the company does not have that real increase of profit that the government team has speculated on today, well, what really happens? The owner goes bankrupt, he loses his business, he loses years of work he has invested in that company. But the worker only loses his job, and he can reorientate, and he can find another job, and that's really easy for him because he didn't have the risks the owner had that until that point. So it's really not fair towards the owners and the shareholders and the decision makers in that company. No, thank you. So what we see is that sharing the profits but not sharing the risk is not an equitable measure, and we're not going to make the market economy better in this. We're not going to make companies more profitable by doing this. We're only going to create something that is going to destroy, on a long term, destroy capitalism, because capitalism is based on private property, and that is exactly what we're doing. We're sharing private property, but we're not sharing the risks that come along with owning private property. So, so if somebody has a company, he's going to share the profit with his workers, but the decisions are still going to belong to him. The risks of that company going bankrupt are still going to belong to him. You.
Definitely the workers will also have the risk, because they will get fired if the companies will go in recession, and they will have a loss of profit if the company...
Okay, I get your point. But the owners are the real, the ones who are really going to lose a lot, because the company is theirs. They've had the decision-making process to them until that point, and some owners they don't have another way of reorientating, but because maybe they haven't been active in that company for a long time. So if that company fails, the risks are still going to be theirs. So what I would really like to explain here and make clear is that while the worker goes to their job every day, goes to his job every day, gets his salary, and maybe gets that part of the profit, he doesn't have to worry about that company as much as the owner does. So we're actually minimalizing the role of the owner in that company. We're minimalizing the importance of private property, of the property belonging to the owner of the company, and we're only sharing that property with the workers without sharing the risks and the decision-making process of that company. No, thank you. Another thing I would like to talk about is the main differences and how our status quo is in clash with their status quo. Well, the only thing they're trying to change is people inside companies not being as selfish and as non-cooperative as they have been until now. And well, we see that is not even that is by far not as important as what we're destroying by implementing this motion. We're actually going to destroy the economy. So forgive us for not wanting a few workers to be more cooperative, which they haven't really proved to us that it is really going to happen by losing capitalism, by losing companies, and the way current dynamics work in our economy.
Yeah, definitely for the principle of capitalism, and we proved quite well that the employer will have profit and the employee will have profit. Could you please attack this?
Yes, of course. The owner is going to have profit, the worker is going to have profit, but the owner is the only person who is going to have the real risks about that company, because he's still going to make the decisions regarding that company. He's still going to be the only person in charge of that company. So what the government team should have really done today is explain how by sharing this profit, we're actually going to make it better for the owner. They should have involved the worker in the decision making of that company, in the risk taking of that company, by giving him that share of the profit. Because what we see is that we give him a certain amount of money of the profit that company makes, but the owner is still the one responsible for that company. So what we're really trying to say is that a better implementation of the motion would have been if the worker would have also gotten in the decision-making board of that company. If the worker would actually be directly involved in the future decision-making of that company, because he's getting that certain amount of profit. Okay, so another big clash in this debate has been the one involving the impacts and the real results of implementing this motion. And what the government has really told us today is going to happen is only based on speculations. They've said that the workers are, firstly, they've said that the workers are going to be more cooperative with each other and that there's not going to be any bad negative competition inside the company. Well, that can be really proved, because what we're trying to say is that if each worker is going to be is going to get that share of the profit by how much he contributes to that profit each month, he's going to want to make more money than all the other workers in the company, and that's not going to create cooperation, as the government has stated today. That's only going to create bad competition. That's going to add more negative competition between the workers than there was before, when they only had their salaries and not this part of the profit. Secondly, they said that the workers are not going to leave the company because they are involved. Well, what we have proved to you today through our third argument is that that is not going to happen. They are going to leave because they're going to be searching for a company which makes more, who's willing to give, and who can give them, who is able to give them more besides their salary from their profits. So what we see is that there's this trend of workers searching for more profit, and because they're now directly involved in the sharing of the profit. So they're going to search for large companies, huge corporations that have this certain amount of profit every month, every year, that don't risk going bankrupt, so that don't risk bankruptcy, so they'll get more of their profits. So because we have shown to you today that by implementing this motion, we're going to shift the focus from quality in the eyes of the worker to increasing profits by any cost, by reducing the cost of production, and that is not only going to hurt the company, but is going to hurt all the products. And they haven't really tackled this, because a major question to ask in this debate is the worker going to is going to want profit by any cost? And we say that that is going to happen, and that he's going to cut the cost of production in order to get more profit, because now he's directly involved in the sharing of it. So because we have proved to you today that this motion will not bring any benefits to the workers, to the companies, and to the economy as a whole, we beg of you to oppose. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure now to invite the reply speaker from opposition to complete the analysis for opposition bench. Here, here.
In my reply speech today, I'm going to talk about the so-called benefits that the government has stated that the company will have on one hand and the workers will have on the other hand. But before that, we believe that the government still hasn't made a clear model about how this motion will be implemented. We have asked them several times, is there going to be the same profits for all workers regardless of their role in the company? Are we going to have the same profit for every company? And they haven't really answered any of these questions before. Again, their theory about having a financial share in that company was linked at some point to the decision making, and they haven't abandoned that model, which we believe creates only confusion. And what we would have liked to hear more from the government was a clear explanation on how profit works, what do we make with that profit, how we're going to divide it concretely, and if these workers will be or not involved in the decision making of the company. Now, they have stated that the company will have advantages because people would much rather buy products from social companies. Well, we believe that's just a speculation. How are they going to prove that people will buy products because the companies have a profit sharing with the worker? We believe that the consumer will buy a product as long as it's a quality product. And we have shown you today in our first argument that that quality should be actually the main goal and not the profit of the company. We believe that when people buy products, they don't buy the products based on if the worker gets profit sharing or not. They buy the product if it's a quality product. And what we've shown in the first argument is we can only make that quality product if we let workers focus on the quality rather than on the profit. Their benefits as to workers were the fact that they are motivated. Now, we believe that the profit that they are motivated to make depends on so many other factors that actually the motivation can go backwards. We can work as hard as we can and still don't make any profit, because profit also depends on the demand in the market, on the financial situation at a particular time. For example, I may be working very hard in a restaurant to make quality food, and I may be trying my best, but quality food is expensive food. And in an area we were facing with an euro crisis, I would much rather go to McDonald's and eat if I don't have enough money to buy quality food. So we believe that this profit that they are looking for also depends on other things rather than how motivated the workers are. And as my colleague Sonia has proved to you today, is that motivation can competition can work among the workers as well. They haven't really told us anything about our risk argument. They have just ignored our second argument, and at some point in their intervention, compared the risk with that the shareholder has with the risk of the workers, which we believe is actually wrong, because the risk of the shareholder was to invest in the first place in that company. The only risk that the workers has is losing his job in the case of bankruptcy, and that job is replaceable, while the investment that the shareholder has put into work to make that company in the first place is not. And one, because they haven't really tackled this argument, and because they haven't really brought us a concrete model and actual benefits that the company or the workers can have, I beg to oppose.
Thank you very much, and I invite now the proposition reply as the final speech for this semi-final. There you go.
Well, she said that actually if we involve the workers in the decision-making process, profit sharing would be a good thing. So thank you for agreeing on basically everything we said, but still I'm going to now clash the 2 points that were brought up in our today's debate. Well, first of all, are the workers going to benefit? Second of all, is the employer going to benefit? But beforehand, I will just once more clarify for side opposition our today's motion, because they didn't seem to understand. The workers all get a share of the company, which is the same for all of the workers. And I said actually that the companies can decide themselves how high they want to set the percentage and whether or not they want to apply profit sharing. So now to quickly move on to that point. First of all, are the workers going to benefit? Side opposition in our today's debate neglected that there are benefits concerning cooperation. And they also didn't seem to understand that if somebody is a shareholder of a company, he is going to work for the company and not for himself. Because in the end, this will benefit him because the profit of the company increases. Furthermore, they often stated in their POIs and in their rebuttals that actually there are also external factors influencing a company and the profit of a company. We agree on that, but these external factors are the same for each and every company, whether or not the company is applying profit sharing or not. So we see that good work is definitely a valid factor concerning profit, and if we have the benefits, the good work benefits from the profit sharing, this is also a factor that plays into this whole profit increase of the company. Second of all, they were referring to the fact that there is a loss of quality by decreasing costs, because actually the employee would want to decrease the cost because he's now involved in the profit sharing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this kind of argumentation is a proof for side opposition's short-term thinking. We believe that if a worker is a shareholder of a company, he wants the company to be prosperous on the long term. How is the company going to be prosperous on the long term? By products that have quality, are innovative and extraordinary, and therefore the people are going to have profit, and this is going to result in a profitable development of the company. This is also why this influence in the company, and this is also going to result in satisfaction for the workers, because they are going to feel valid and important. As side opposition likes to talk about risk, I will refer to risk once more nowadays, even though my second speaker referred to that in rebuttal and also in his POI. So why is there a risk sharing? There is a risk sharing because if you own a share of a company and this company is losing profit, then you are primarily affected by that, because your share also loses its value. And if the company is losing so much profit that you are actually that it is not able to, that it is not possible that you can that your share does not have any value anymore, this is also non-beneficial for you. So the workers are going to be more motivated because they do not want to have a loss of profit, because their share is actually going to lose its value too. So now to move on to the employer. They never refer to the point of how the employer benefits from the best employee and how that is going to be achieved through profit sharing. Furthermore, we also do not agree on the fact that small companies are going to suffer. This is just like simple mathematics. If we have a small company that has less employees than a big company, and we want to have profit sharing in the small company, and we have the same percentage divided between less workers than between many workers in the big company, this is going to be outweighed and there is not going to be a disadvantage for the small companies. So in the end we see that we have shown you in our today's debate lots of benefits that would result from the implementation of our policy, and none of their harms was actually not tackled by us and was not proven wrong by us. Therefore, because it is beneficial for the employee and the employer to implement our today's motion, we believe that we've won our today's debate. Thank you.
Thank you very much to both teams. I encourage you to cross the house, shake hands, and the adjudicators will leave the room and go outside.
So that's not recording?
Just you don't, Sila will come back. Don't worry.
Okay. Pa nije pa.
A nisu se slušali.
Da, to.
Jesu oni uopće definirali ovo?
Ma ne.